question, guys, though. What would you say is the most annoying thing, like, for your partner to do? Like, something that annoys you about, so with you, Timi, a man, something that a man has done that's just so annoying to you that you just can't, like, it's just like a red flag. And then, Jordan, to you as well, what a woman can do or has done to you that, like, yeah, completely no, red flag.
Jordan, you
I
answer
don't.
first.
Okay, I'll go first. And I'm gonna highlight two things. Sometimes during COVID, I was seeing this girl who came in from California, and like she was just like telling me all these things, blah 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 blah. One thing I can't stand is a girl telling me what to do. I cannot stand that.
Clarify, what did
Like,
she do?
she like the way like we're hanging out at the bar, and I'm giving a tip to the waitress, and she's like, why would you give a tip? Why would you give a waitress a tip? Like, she doesn't deserve a tip. And then we're going to the parking lot. Someone who's like the guy who's parked us at giving like the guy like something, and she goes like, oh, like like you need to like also be careful with the way you like. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what it
Tell
throws
me
me
what
off
to do.
so bad. Like, also, I'm very open to advice, don't get me wrong, but like there's a way where like some girls are very like they want to like take hold of you and sort of like control you. Once I smell that manipulative energy, I address it right then. And if it's not like properly corrected, I just like move off, and just like whatever it is, just like
At least you
a
give
peg on it.
time, like, rectifying. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
What
yeah,
about you?
yeah.
Uh, for me,
Sorry,
nothing is
just
coming.
one. Sorry, just one thing. Also, don't disregard my
Continue.
feelings.
Oh, sorry,
Don't
Timi.
disregard.
But
Don't disregard my feeling. If I
I
tell
thought
you I feel
that is
this way,
quite personal to you because you needed to bring it in there. Who has disregarded your feelings in the past, and how did it happen?
one time, I was supposed to have like dinner, and then I think I got so maybe drunk with my friends, and I couldn't make it. So I communicated to say I feel so bad that like I couldn't make it, and she went off. Like, who are you? You think, come out of your delusion. You think you're the best man around here. Oh, like there are other people better than you. How did you stand me up for so long? I'm like, I'm sorry, I got drunk. It's like, I don't wish you well. You don't, don't disregard my feelings. I tell you, I wasn't feeling so good. Do you want me to lie to say like something has happened or whatever? So I like when you just appreciate people for communicating and like disregarding their feelings. Yeah.
But I think sometimes women, because they're so used to men doing them wrong, when a guy tells them the truth, they feel like you're lying because it's like, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it probably had nothing to do with you, and she was just reacting off a past experience or trauma.
But why must
And
you take it
him
out
to
on me
her.
like that? I'm also
It
human
be
and I
like
need to
that. No,
process
it
this
be like
thing.
that sometimes. It's gonna explode out onto that person, and then But the thing is, is it that you didn't show up at all? When did you message her? Like, we need the full
True,
context.
true. I mean, I think that what like her situation was, I was partying without her being in my presence while I was partying. So I think that's where the grudge was, not because I stood her up or something. We planned to have dinner sometime, but we hadn't decided on the day we're gonna have the dinner, right? So a day before dinner, I went to party through the night until the next morning, bearing in mind that we're gonna have dinner that day. So she had messaged me in the morning, and I was like hungover, didn't reply my messages, and then at like around like 12 in the afternoon, I was like, oh, I don't think I can do dinner today anymore, and she went off.
Did you call her to tell her, or did you type
I
it?
she wasn't picking a call, so I sent a text message because she communicates via text message, you know. So I said, oh, like right now, I don't know how I'm feeling. I went out last night partying with my friends, so I'm trying to like chill out and just like get myself together. And she's like, no way. you can't like stand me up. Why didn't you invite me to the party with your friends yesterday so we could be together? And I'm like, girl,
Talani
like
dirty.
I'm trying to also respond to the comments. I mean, I'm sorry.
It's jarring. Drunk. You know what? I get it from a man's perspective. From a woman's perspective, though, she's not seeing that. She's looking at all the times a man stood her up, and she's like, "Fuck this man! Like, who does he think he is?" So I feel like you can't be mad at her for being angry because you did stand her up. So you can't say she disregarded your feelings. You probably didn't.
But I mean, it's not exactly standing up if you've gotten noticed. Being stood up is when you are actually at wherever you plan to be at, and the
Exactly.
person doesn't show up.
No,
But
but
if it's
also
a
she even
dinner
said,
and they told you at brunch time, I mean, you are just choosing to react and all. Of course, yeah,
mhm,
you could have planned or whatever. But then you know what? Life continues. You either go to dinner with your friends or you order your favorite food in or whatever. You know, it could have gone anyway. So again, it boils down to her experiences, what she's been through, how she was perceiving it, maybe even the way he typed the messages, maybe the way it was even coming across all nonchalant that could have also triggered her. You know, it could be any number of things. So yeah.
I
For me right now, I can't remember anything in particular that I'm like, okay, yeah.
telling me you can't remember like one thing a man's done to you that really pains you. That you're like, fuck this man.
I think for me it's let me see. I think if I maybe if I ask a question or whatever, like just say the truth. Because for me to be asking that question, that means I Sherlock Holmes the thing, that means I've
ooh,
deduced what is up. So I'm asking you, so just say the truth. And I'm a very, very understanding person. All you need to do is just communicate. And I'll ask you
hey, sorry,
questions
sorry, sorry. I
about
just
that.
want to say something about when girls say they're very understanding. This is like a trick thing. You now say one thing, it leads to 25 billion other things. I'm sorry, I would lie to you. I'm sorry, like I will lie to you. Because I
Mm-hmm.
know how like if your girl says, "Oh, I'm very," no, do you understand what I mean though? Do you understand what I mean though? Like you're requesting that I'm upfront about certain things, but I know that me being upfront is the beginning of an unending rabbit hole.
That is
You
Give
not.
know
us
what I
an
mean?
example
So
of what kind of thing that you could
no,
possibly
no.
be
It
upfront
could be
about
anything,
that your babe will be like,
especially when you know someone who, like, how people take things. Sometimes, like they say, diplomacy is not lying. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm hanging out with like a friend, a female friend, for dinner, and
of which
then
he has many,
of what?
and they are platonic friends. But
No,
continue.
for sure. And
Me
then,
too. I have many
I
platonic
know, and then
girlfriends. So go
and then
on.
me knowing you as the girl in my life and how like you scrutinize every little stare I get from people. Like sometimes it's yeah. So it's like if you say something, she wants to ask the next question related to that thing. That go just like open this Pandora's box, and I'm not really ready for this kind of conversations. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But what about me as your platonic friend? Question asker. You better be ready. Because I ask
No,
questions.
so
I wanted to elaborate on your point. So you talking about how basically men not being upfront with you because you're understanding. Can you go a
Well,
bit
I won't say men. I won't say men. And
a man?
that's not what I said. I'm saying you can be upfront because I am understanding. So I'm just giving an example. I'm just giving a random example. There's really nothing in mind that I'm holding on to as a red flag. Because for me, like, I go with my spirit. So if something is already off, or like the guy is whatever, I don't have time for rubbish. I'm just gonna be like, bye bye. I don't drag things out. Miss one, there's the next one coming. So I'm not too bothered. I'm glad there's like billions of people on the planet. I'll always be all right.
Wow, you
So,
are proper, just nonchalant about life. I like that though. You seem a
thank
bit
you.
just you don't really care. Like you seem like you don't hold on to animosity. You just like it didn't work out. It might work out. It didn't really upset me.
I
You
mean,
let it
yeah, like, you try not to hold on to things, and I mean, usually, like, the relationship ends on good terms. Like, I just with my exes. I mean, some of them want to be my boyfriend or to be married to me or whatever, but it's like, for me, that's not like the end. The be all and end all. Society has made it so, like, oh, okay, this is the plan, get married, do. I mean, I'm here on this earth to have fun and to make a positive impact. So it's bigger than a marriage or whatever. And I feel like that term marriage, it should even be called lifetime companion, so that it's more, so that they realize that, look, if you're going to say yes to somebody, if you're going to marry someone, if you're going to join your life with them, you're doing this for life, or for however long that you have breath in your body, whatever. So it's very essential, first of all, that no matter what you like, what your preference is, blah 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 blah, is that you guys are friends,
mm,
and there's respect, there's trust, there's communication. Once you have that, it can be anything. And whoever likes you for you, yeah, and
the
you
whole
like them for them.
it's a general
What do
manager
you say?
behind you. So how can we find a general manager? That's the question I need to ask you next, actually.
Listen, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
Manager.
because I'm just out there living my life, having fun, being thankful and grateful. Because the thing is, there's so much negativity out there, and you can focus on it. And sometimes you will give in to those feelings, and it's okay, because it's a cycle, it's a balance. So even if you give in to that feeling, that you don't stay in it for too long. You give yourself 2 hours, or you give yourself the whole day, and then you do something that you like. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. As you're living your life, then minding your business and being open, because that's the thing. You must be open to experiences. You must, like, there's going to be times where, okay, you're going to be like, oh no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to this place. And then there's going to be other times where your spirit is like, okay, yes. Or you don't even feel like that, but you're like, you know what? Let me say yes. What? I mean, you never know what can happen. And that's when you see somebody gorgeous with a gorgeous smile. And you're like, yeah, this is why I came out. So, like, even if nothing happens with that person, that's a new connection. And from that connection could come another connection. Now, it could be a financial connection, like a career connection, or it could be a platonic connection, like this is a member of your tribe, or it could be a romantic connection, especially if you are open to that. So even though you are not seeking, you are not actively seeking, you're not actively searching, you're not giving out that sense of desperation. No, you're just out there living your life and all. And men like that, especially
That.
men that they've got power, they look after themselves,
Thank you.
and they've got money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna see you and all, and they're going to want to holler at you. And there's no such thing as too busy. You will make time for whoever or whatever you want to make time for. So anybody that you have to be looking for them, or because I'm telling you, this man is a GM in meetings all the time. Will even come out of a meeting to talk to me.
I
So
can.
listen, yeah, exactly, because that's it. Like,
Maybe
And now everybody is going to be different. Every relationship is going to be different. And of course, depending on their profession, because obviously a surgeon cannot come out and you could be talking to you, or like a chef or whatever. They need to be focused. So that's the thing. That's the communication. You understand their schedule. They understand your schedule. You understand what's going on. You talk to each other. Even if you don't want to type, you can send a voice note. Like, there's advancement of technology. There's so many apps. And this is if you're in different places and not even living together or living in the same city, region, district, whatever you want to title it, you know. So all these things will be clear. Like, so many signs are there. So people see so many red flags and they keep going, you know, they keep, you know, like, oh, let me see where it's going on. I'm trying to think of which one. Okay. This one is from many years ago. So it happened to a friend of mine. She was in England. At that point in time, you know, we were in uni. Yeah.
round up by past. So if we just are quite quick and concise, yeah?
Yeah. So the point is, chill. That's the mind for you. Okay, yeah. The point is, at this time, she hasn't had sex yet. And I can't remember what it was, but this guy, you know, was telling her stuff, everything. So from what she said to me, and from myself being masculine and feminine, like we all are, and understanding it as well,
Wait,
and just understanding
are masculine and feminine?
everybody has masculine and feminine in them. So if one side is more like is unbalanced, that's how you find guys that they are straight but they are feminine. Or that's how you find women that they are straight but they are masculine, depending on what has happened in their life or what trauma, you know. That's a whole other thing. But
So
let's come back to this.
life brings out the masculine and feminine in you.
Yeah, it does. It does. If I'm with like a bunch of guys, testosterone or whatever the shit is called, I'm going to be like more manly. I'm going to, you know, I'm still my feminine, sexy self, but I'm going to, that the man in me is jumping out. But wait, let's get back to this now. So the girl, you know, she was gisting me about what was going on with her and the guy. And based off what she said, because for me, you give me the data, give me all the data, and I will compute it and I will tell you what's up. So I told her what's up. And she was like, oh no, that's not what it is. You know, that not everybody is the same, blah, blah, blah. Just because it happened to you. I can't remember what it was. It's more than a decade ago, you know. Yeah, I'm a bit older than I look. But yeah, what do you call it? She ended up coming back to me saying, oh, I was right, da 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 da. Yeah, because I could see the red flag, but she couldn't see the red flag. So all these things are going to present themselves. But sometimes because you want to believe in the romance, in the, you know, in the fairy tale, or you want to get married, or yeah, or maybe the person is like from a particular family, or you have a certain title or whatever, you find that people are dealing with bullshit. And meanwhile, it's like you guys don't actually even really like each other or really love each other, which is what COVID showed a lot of couples when they now had to actually stay home with each other. Yeah. You know, yeah. So like this whole, like, first of all, marriage is not by force. First of all, you know, so you're blessed if you have someone.
Sorry, I've seen you refer to marriage. It's like you have a little bit of a disdain for marriage. Do you not want to get married?
I do. It's not a disdain. It's not a disdain. And I'm referring to marriage because you spoke about it in the beginning. Now your pinned thingy has changed. But remember, that was your focus. And I'm bringing you back to the focus. Marriage. Yeah.
I want to understand you in terms of your relationship.
Yeah, no. There's no disdain. There's no disdain. for me, like I don't like pretending. I don't like facades. If it's about marriage, I would have been married since, all of that. You know, I have people wanting to marry, all of that. It's not about that. It's
So
just about
um,
ensuring your tribe is right and that your
I
man or your woman is right for
want to
you.
be married though. Do you want?
Me, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't mind to build with someone, but I feel if this person is coming across to me as yes, this is my lifetime companion, then I will say yes. You know, if they're giving me that energy and you know that consistency, that effort, that dedication and all of that, then yes, why not?
So you are,
I will have my father's name and your name. That'll be a long ass name, but yes.
wait. So you wouldn't even take his last name?
No, I said I will have my father's name and his name. That's when I now said it
Oh,
will be a long ass name. Hmm?
you don't give up your name.
I can't hear you.
You don't want to give up your father's name.
No, of course not, because in my
I
surname, my
think that's a
father's name is
choice,
there,
actually.
and my father is my first love, and I have a very high standard, because he showed me what love is. He didn't limit me in any way. He was very supportive. I was allowed to be myself. I was completely pampered. You know, he would travel. There's two suitcases. One suitcase is full of stuff for me. The other suitcase is his stuff and stuff for my mom and my brothers, my two brothers. So, you know, like he really showed me what love is and all, so that long after he's gone, because he's been dead now for 23 years this year.
Uh,
Yeah. So, yeah. So he really
so what
showed
if
me that. And for me,
and what if your fiance, husband, whoever you're dating, says, I don't want you to have your father's name. My
then
children have just.
for him to be my boyfriend, he can't even say that.
Also, is that a deal breaker for you? Like, what
No,
was?
it's not that it's a deal breaker. Like the person I would be dating would not even think of saying such. It won't even come to mind.
I. What do you think about
Yeah.
that? Jordan, I feel like you wanted to say something in regards to that.
No, like, I mean, you know how they say, like, you have
Hi, I
standard
don't want to
sex.
be anybody. I am Timmy Tims, Lord
You know
Principal.
how
Thank you.
you know how they say, like, you have standards for like your like relationship. You have like set ways of how you think things should go. You
Mm,
know, for example, if you have a dad who's like, go head over heels for you as a daughter, I feel like when you
mm,
begin to date people or you begin to have relationships, you sort of like subconsciously expect that you have the guy who would, do the same thing for you. And it just also shows how much you'd like to raise your kids in that same manner, because eventually the kids are like a combination of their parents, and how they grow is like what their parents did when they met each other and how they brought them up. So I feel
mm.
like, yeah, if you have standards of how you were treated as a young child, it's somehow sort of linked to your current, relationship, or like when you
But
start getting into a relationship with people.
I wanted to get from you though. Will you be okay if your woman says that she doesn't want just your last name?
Oh,
What?
definitely. I mean, well, if
Oh,
she's saying I mean, I don't mind her even just being with her name, but I know my kids will have my name. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
no,
You
but no.
know, it's a,
What Timmy's saying is she would want it conjoined. So her
no, but that's what
name.
I'm saying. That's okay, but the kids would take my name.
No, but no,
Which
You
is
know,
fine.
no. She wants the kid.
exactly. That's my point. Exactly. It's like
No, see, the thing is, it's fine.
Oh, you're
It's
okay
for
with
the
fine.
for the
the name.
Of
yeah.
course. They're his
Oh,
Because
children
because
at the end
because
of the day.
okay. But what if it's a thing of she wants to have her father's name and your name for the kids?
I don't think
Why
that's
not?
going to be like a reasonable conversation. But I mean,
But you're
For
open
me,
to having the conversation, Jordan, because you should be
oh, definitely
open-minded.
open to that. Yes, I'm very open to, I'm very
Okay,
open
girl.
to have conversations. But like
Yeah.
what I'm
Are
saying
open
is, for
by
example,
what by fire you are open.
for example, see, like, Kardashian and the Jenners and the West, you know what I mean? If already, like, like, you know who you are as an individual, you know what you want out of life, you know what your
Mm-hmm.
ambitions are. So if you, I mean, no one should come off their high horse to say, oh, because we are now bound by marriage, take your name out of this. I wouldn't, that doesn't make sense to do. But for the kids we're giving birth to, you'd understand that the lineage comes from like the father, so they have to bear that name. You know what I mean? They know their
Well, it's
mom
the
is.
father and the mother. It's a
I
team
mean,
effort.
of
I
course,
me in the fact
They
that
shoot out from the man's
I
sperm
I
of
and they
lose
go to
course,
fertilize the egg.
I
of
lose
course, of course, of
So if
course.
she wants that, then you are going to allow that.
I mean, that's
Can
why
we please talk about situationships?
that's why
what
it's like,
I think Esther doesn't mind.
I'm gonna finish up with these guys request and then I'll get you on next.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying, that's why it's like we're both in this together, and the thing is, before you start having kids, I'm sure you'd have these conversations. So you agree to disagree, to agree to disagree. If you work, you guys will do it. If it doesn't work, you all can, like, go
Do it.
figure out something
Mhm.
somewhere else. It's
Like
just as
I was
simple
saying,
as that,
I
you
and
know.
Timi in the fact that personally, because I was raised, I've been known as Esther Yenny. I just feel like when I get married, I would like a conjoined last name, or at least me and my husband create a new last name, just because I don't feel like I want to lose my identity just because I'm getting married. So I would want my kids to have my last name and their father's. I just wouldn't, I don't know, I wouldn't be okay
Also,
with just his
also,
name for the kids.
not to cut you in, but also the name you're talking about happens to be your dad's name.
Yeah, but
So
that's
I
my
just imagine. No, so
Babe, you
like,
can do everything you want in this life, and your partner, if that person is right for you, is going
would
to
I
be like,
accept and
yes,
agree with this? Okay, that makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
that's the most
of
ideal case.
course.
Yeah. Obviously, it'll be great that I can do whatever I want, but it's also that making sure that my man will be okay with that, because a lot of men are not okay.
That's the thing. You set the
Ah,
tone for how you're going to be treated. You
sorry.
actually set the tone. I say you set the tone for how you're going to be treated. So especially like, because people, they're always going to try it. Like, let's say you have a relationship, whatever label it is, and like they now do something you don't like. You don't let it glide over, and because that's going to keep building up. It's going to keep building up till one day you erupt. They continue to take the piss. But if you tell them then and there, like maybe you wait till it's a private moment for you guys or whatever, or then and there if you can. But you let them know, oh, you don't appreciate this sort of thing, you don't like it and all. They're gonna take notice of it. They're gonna see how they can treat you, what they can do, to what extent they can go, all of that. So definitely, if you're showing how you want to be treated, how you want to be respected, how you want to be cared for, how you want to be loved, then that man is going to be like, yes, Esther, Oyeniyi, somebody. Yeah, definitely. I like that name. It works. And that's going to be our children's name as well. Yes.
Amen. Amen. I mean,
Amen.
I'm hoping that is what I would get in my man, but I'm very cautious because I have dated men that where it's like a deal breaker for them. They need their woman to take their last name and they need their children to have just their last name. So what you just said in terms of you set the tone, that would be great. Like I like to set the tone, but it is also considering what a man wants as well. And you've got to find a balance to say, okay, how can we both be comfortable? That's why I'm even open to creating a new last name. You know what? How about we both lose our identities? How about we both come up with a new name? And that can
Yeah.
be a new legacy together. So I'm open to that as well. But I would definitely be okay with understanding what the man wants. Well, I'm just finding that middle ground.
Yeah, yeah, of course, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, some men, they don't have a problem with it. Some men even take their wife's last name. So you just never know who you're going to get, how open they're going to be, how understanding. But you know, write down exactly what it is that you want, what will make you happy. Be very specific, very, very
I
specific,
just also
and you
wanted
get
to
it.
Yeah,
quickly.
we just have last words now, so we can bring it to an end. What's the last
Yeah,
thing, Jordan and Timmy, have the last thing you want to say? Go.
Okay, cool. I just want to say quick two things. First of all, like what's up to buttress what Timmy was saying about like the masculine, the feminine energy is basically just like the chromosomes of the human being, the X and Y. You know, if you already like materialize as whatever sex you materialize as, that doesn't mean you don't have a recessive gene of what you didn't materialize as in your person. So it's like you just finding balance and knowing how to like navigate and maneuver. That's by the way. So like to sum it all up for me as an individual, I feel like just like let love lead the way eventually, like, be free to be vulnerable to each other, like have these important conversations that's needed to be had because you can't like
mm,
to build takes like, efforts and energy and input and not just like sitting somewhere and expecting things to be totally understood because we're all brought up differently. The background you have is different from the background that I have. So like if we're coming together to form a pact, we need to give the space for vulnerability, for making mistakes, for conversations, for everything in between to solidify whatever it is that we have as a relationship. And if it transcends that into a marriage, then it even makes more sense. And if not, I think life is also just beautiful and it's like a learning curve, as you progress. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was beautiful, like, beautifully put. Thank you for that.
yeah.
That's fun to me.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, just going off the communication bit, because for me, communication is very important. And you know, you want your message to be received as intended. You know, um, so I guess that's where asking questions, comes in and all of that, and yeah, like just take it easy with yourself. Practice self-love on yourself, self-care, everything, like do it for you first, and you will see that reflected back. You'll
That's
receive it back.
Even though it was very like impromptu, I'm happy to like make these contributions, and I'm
Yeah,
I'm also looking forward to more
my
conversations
hand is
surrounding things
hurting.
like this.
next week. Join the live.
It is.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Baby Alex.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. See you.
All right, thank you so much, Esther.